I mean, who can ever imagine something like this, right? It just, I know I couldn't. And I'm just, I don't know what to say. I'm so honored, and I feel like this represents a recognition of some foundational work that was started at Berkeley on my side and was an international collaboration from the beginning with Emmanuel Charpentier. And our students, Chris Chylinski in Emmanuel's lab and Martin Yinnick in my group, so a truly international partnership. And it really was a curiosity-driven project from the beginning. And I want to also mention that for me, my introduction to CRISPR was Gillian Banfield at Berkeley, who had done some of the early work to uncover this pathway in bacteria. She brought CRISPR to my attention because she thought that it would be an interesting system to study, and boy was she right. And Jill continues to be a wonderful partner and collaborator, and we have been able to relocate our laboratories into the same building at Berkeley, in the IGIB building, which is great. And she's the type of person that represents what's best about Berkeley. It's just incredible scholarship, colleagues who are deeply passionate about their work, about their students. She's teaching a course right now. She had to convert everything to online, and I know that's been really hard, but she relishes it. I mean, this is what we do. Anyhow, so complete shock, and just humble. I'm humbled by it. For little old me to win the prize. I mean, it's just astounding.
How'd you find out?
I was really deeply asleep, and I got a call. My phone was, had it on silent, actually. My phone was buzzing, and for some reason I woke up and I looked at the phone. It was 2:53, and it was Heidi Ledford, who is a reporter who I know, I've talked to in the past at Nature. And so I answered the phone, and she said, "Hi Jennifer, it's Heidi. I'm sorry to bother you early, but I just wanted to get your comments about the Nobel." And I said, and I thought she was calling to ask me to comment on somebody else winning the Nobel Prize. And I was so deeply asleep, and I was rubbing my eyes and thinking, okay, I've got to get on my computer and find out who won the Nobel Prize. And I said, well, who won it? And she said, well, you won it. She said, you mean you haven't talked to them yet? And I said, no. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm the one to tell you. And I said, yes. And so I said, Heidi, I feel like I'm sorry, I need to go. I need to try to get some official news. And I looked at my phone, and sure enough, there were a bunch of messages that from the Sweden. And then while I was looking at that, my phone rang again, and it was Martin Yinnick calling me from Switzerland, where he runs a lab now. And he was just very, very nice. He was over the moon. He said, I'm just so happy and so excited for you and Emmanuel, and it's just really wonderful news. And of course, I'm deeply proud of Martin and his work, and how indebted I am to him for being in my lab and doing this wonderful work together. So it was great to talk with him at that moment, for sure. And then things just started to go crazy with
Gonna be crazy for a while.
Phone, yeah. I think that it really speaks to the fact that I think for many women, there's a feeling that no matter what they do, their work will never be recognized the way it would be if they were a man. And this recognition today, I think, just refutes that in a way, and it just honors the work that was started by a collaboration between two women, and who set out not to win the Nobel Prize, but to do really fundamental science that we thought was exciting and important and interesting, and we led our teams to work on it collaboratively. And that just means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to me thinking back to my own childhood, growing up as I had been told more than a few times that girls don't do chemistry or girls don't do science. And fortunately, I ignored that. I'm deeply committed to democratizing technology and certainly CRISPR-Cas so that it's available and accessible to people that need it, whether it's for biomedical uses or for agricultural uses or anything else, research, of course. And I guess if this prize changes any of that, I guess it it sort of underscores that there's an importance to fundamental science that can really change, fundamental science can change the world. I think this is a message that needs to get out there, because in many cases we hear the opposite. We hear that, why aren't scientists, why aren't we curing cancer? Why aren't we, working on very focused problems? And it's not that that isn't important, but the message here is that solutions to problems come from unexpected directions, and that's really the message of CRISPR. And I think it's a really important message to get out to young people, especially who are thinking about a career in science. And I always encourage students to pursue their passions, because we don't know where the next big discoveries and technologies are going to come from. And who knew that a bacterial immune system would in fact emerge as a world-changing technology for gene editing? But here we are. It's still a very young technology. We're 8 years into it, and incredibly, there already are clinical trials ongoing using it, and more opportunities to deploy it in agricultural applications and for other things. So I think we'll just continue to see the field accelerating from here. For myself, I think continuing to do very fundamental work on the technology, understanding the mechanism of how it works, that's always what I've enjoyed doing and what I like to do. Plus, I think it's critical to ensure that the technology is used safely and effectively. We've seen this over and over, that when we understand how molecules work, we can think properly about how to make sure that they work in the way one wants, especially as a technology. So, they kind of go hand in hand.
How are you feeling right now?
I am feeling a combination of emotions. I'm finding myself reflecting back on many events in the past, just my upbringing, my sisters. I talked to one of them today, the other one I haven't talked to yet, but who was very proud. And my parents have passed away, so they're not wherever they are. They're looking down, I'm sure. And I'm just thinking about my college experience. Being trained by a female biochemist, Sharon Panasenko at Pomona College, who was truly inspirational to me. And then just my mentors over the years, who have been so supportive, because that's critical for anybody, but certainly for me, helping to build my confidence in myself as a scientist, that's been key. So I'm getting a lot of flashbacks going on. And I guess the other thing I'm thinking about is I'm just thinking about my son and sort of people at his age. It's a challenging time right now for young people. And I don't know to what extent young people pay that much attention, honestly, to Nobel Prize announcements. I'm not sure I would have at 17, but I think maybe for girls especially, this is kind of a moment to take a step back from the craziness that's going on, and just to kind of enjoy great science and the process of discovery, because that's why I've always done science. I'm just so proud of Berkeley. It's wonderful. I'm really honored to represent such a great university, and couldn't have done the work without being here. I don't think it would have happened if I wasn't at Berkeley, honestly. Just because of all of the circumstances. Certainly, my interaction with Julian Banfield being the start of all of this, but then having the good fortune to attract wonderful people to the lab and to have so many incredible colleagues. I mean, we've done so many collaborative projects over the years with people at Berkeley, and I've been at Berkeley 18 years, and I still occasionally have this feeling like I'll go to a seminar, I'll go to some, not so much these days, we're not doing it in person, but just events where I'm looking around the room or the Zoom room with colleagues, and I'll just have this momentary, oh my gosh, I am part of this, and these people are every single one of them is an incredible scholar, and I'm so honored to be here. I still have that really deep, feeling of being very, very proud of this university.
And I know you're also very proud of your students and the students
I
at
am.
Berkeley. They give you a lift.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, my students are what, keep me going, you know, and I'm just incredibly honored to be part of all of this.
Als große Überraschung, so wird bei uns die Entscheidung wahrgenommen, die amerikanische Lyrikerin Louise Gluck mit dem Nobelpreis, mit dem Literatur-Nobelpreis zu ehren. Denn in Deutschland ist Gluck kaum bekannt, anders als in den USA, wo sie als eine der führenden Stimmen zeitgenössischer Lyrik gilt. Die Schwedische Akademie lobt vor allem die strenge Schönheit der Sprache, mit der sich Gluck auf die Suche nach dem Allgemeingültigen mache.
Louise Gluck ist eine Lyrikerin, deren Werke man in Europa noch suchen muss. In einer von Stockholms größten Bibliotheken ist heute Nachmittag nur ein einziges Exemplar verfügbar. In Deutschland wird die Autorin derzeit gar nicht verlegt. Dabei ist die 77-Jährige in ihrem Heimatland USA eine feste Größe. 2016 erhielt sie aus den Händen des damaligen US-Präsidenten die National Humanity Medal, eine der wichtigsten Auszeichnungen für Geisteswissenschaften. Gluck lehrt seit 2004 unter anderem an der Elite-Universität Yale. Zu den Favoritinnen für den Nobelpreis zählte sie nicht. Glucks poetische Stimme ist sehr charakteristisch. In ihren Gedichten spricht ein Ich, das verstanden werden möchte, das in seinen Gedanken sowohl leidenschaftlich wie kompromisslos ist. Aber es gibt auch ein großes Maß an Humor und bestechendem Esprit in ihren Gedichten. Viele Literaturexperten halten die Auszeichnung der Lyrikerin für eine gute Entscheidung der Schwedischen Akademie. Gluck ist eine bedeutende Poetin, die ihren Leserkreis hat, auch hier in Schweden. Allerdings ist er noch sehr klein. Aber sie ist definitiv eine Lyrikerin, die ein größeres Publikum verdient hat. Nach dem Skandal um Fälle von sexuellem Missbrauch im Umfeld der Akademie und der umstrittenen Vergabe des Nobelpreises an Peter Handke im vergangenen Jahr soll mit der heutigen Entscheidung etwas Ruhe einkehren. Man wolle sich wieder auf die Literatur konzentrieren, sagte der Vorsitzende des Nobelkomitees heute.